talked about Rasheed Walker and Romeo Dobbs. We're going to shift gears to talk about Malik Willis, okay? Malik Willis and Quay Walker. I'm excited to get to the Quay Walker one. We're doing them in order of market value. So we put this up in our Patreon group. If you guys want to get this content, this extra content here, just go to patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. It's the best way to support the show and get the extra content, kind of be ahead of the game when we do these type of breakdowns. So Malik Willis, PFF grades, right? What we're going to do is talk about his true market value and what do you guys think will happen? Is there a snowball's chance in hell that he returns to Green Bay as a $10 million backup, or do you think he's going to break the market? Let's talk about it. He had the second highest PFF grade in the entire National Football League. At the quarterback position, keep in mind that he didn't meet the minimum snap requirement, right? He had 97 snaps, but still played really good football. 92.3 was his PFF grade. Well, I know he can run the ball. What's his passer grade? 90.8, okay? Dude was a dog. It was an absolute dog. So that's his PFF grades. When you look at how he ranks here, the only quarterback in the league, when you remove minimal snaps, or when you include minimal snaps, I should say, the only quarterback in the league that graded higher was Matt Stafford at 92.9. So it was Matt Stafford, then Malik Willis, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Drake May, and then Jordan Love at 88.8. Now, obviously, Jordan Love played 965 snaps to Malik Willis's 97. I imagine his grade would go down eventually, but who knows? The point is, Dan Orlovsky pointed out again today, we got to start removing prospects from the board, Emilio. I got to get on that. The kid from Oregon that was going to enter the draft, he decided to come back.
Dante Moore.
Yeah, he's coming back to college. And it was funny, too, that immediately Dan Orlovsky tweeted it out and said, all right, like I said, Malik Willis about to get paid a big check.
Dude, this is a rough quarterback class.
Yeah. So the more that those quarterbacks decide I'm going back to school, boy, oh boy, Malik Willis's value goes up. It's like we talked about with the market, right? It doesn't matter what you think a player's worth or your house is worth. What does the market determine its worth? There's going to be some quarterback needy teams out there that I think will go and get a player for sure. So with that being said, Malik Willis, how much money do y'all think he's going to get on the market? I'll start with you, Jacob. What do you think of Malik Willis, man? Like, how much money is he going to warrant? Because there's some people saying $40 million per, and then we got a fair market value that we'll talk about here in a second.
I mean, to be honest, I hate these types of questions. Not that you're asking a bad one. It's just the fact that at this point in the year, it's such speculation. And before the draft happens and before we see if there's any offseason injuries or whatever the case may be. But to be completely fair, I mean, those numbers don't lie. We look at those PFF numbers and we always preface it with saying PFF isn't everything. We understand that. But what we'd like to see is the progression, right? You see when he comes in the league, thrown to basically the cheese grater, for lack of a better term, over there in Tennessee, kind of had a coaching carousel, not quite, anything that's consistent there. Not a great surrounding cast, in my opinion, during those times. And then what happens? He goes to a coach that actually has a sort of rapport with quarterbacks, especially with a steady organization, somebody that tells him, hey, man, we got your back. Just want you to do this A, B, and C. And if you can do that, maybe we'll go on to DEF kind of stuff. And it seems like that he just absorbed that like a sponge. And you have the fact that you just, you get into the NFL. And I don't think that most teams would argue that the ideal thing to do is just throw a guy right in and just let him sink or swim, especially, again, on a team that's so inconsistent and has been lacking for so many years like Tennessee was at the time. The second he gets into Green Bay, has a little bit of tutelage from a guy named, Matt LaFleur. Have you heard of him?
I do a little tutelage.
I did a little tutelage. And all of a sudden you start to see the reason this guy was touted as a first-round pick, second-round, just an absolute stud. The attributes have always been there: the height, the weight, the amount of athleticism this guy possesses. What I think that was more surprising to most people this year is we knew the guy could run. Wasn't he at Liberty? Am I thinking correctly?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. When he's, you can see that the athleticism in college, and you think, well, that maybe won't come to, fruition in the NFL. Well, it didn't for the first couple of years. And all of a sudden, when somebody got a hold of him that knew what they were doing and knew how to kind of maybe hone his specialties and whatever, you saw a guy break out into elite air. And again, 97 snaps, take that with a grain of salt. I understand that. But the way that he played just seems like that those 97 snaps could have been extrapolated over a long season. And I just feel like that he would have been still at least in the mid 80s. He just seems like that's not too, that the NFL is not too big for him at this point in his career. So I have to say that, I think that it's a snowball's chance in hell that we get him for anything less than 15 as like a maybe one or two like agreed backup. I think it's more realistic that somebody is going to offer this boy 25 to 40 mil easy per year, just because I just think he's that talented.
Yeah, I'm with you. Jen Wright says Miami new quarterback. Could be, right? That would make a lot of sense. John Eric Sullivan go get Malik Willis. Packer Doug points out NIL pays better than the NFL. In some cases, yes. Those are – it's not like every player gets paid that much, right? But you're right. Like with Dante Moore. Is it Dante Moore? Is that right?
Yeah, Dante Moore at Oregon with those unis and all that. And Nike being – he's good sponsorship. Yeah.
Donovan Schilling says $38 million per is what he thinks that Malik would get. Jen Wright says $30 million per. Stephanie says 20 to 30 million. In my opinion, I could see that. Not so cool said Justin Fields just got 40 million for 2 years. That's a great point there, right? Let's see. Packer Doug says Orlovsky was feverish when he said 40 million. I bet he gets 28 to 32 million on a 3-year deal. I could see that. And Not So Cool says I would say 25 million per, still needs to prove himself, right, Emilio? Like we're talking about the lack of snaps. Now, like Jacob pointed out, that was just PFF. I see your super chat there, Hardy. Thank you, buddy. We'll hit it in just a second. And you guys get your supers in. I promise we'll read them before the show is over. We'll kind of stay on topic here for just a second. So PFF isn't everything, right, Emilio? But EPA per dropback, he was third best in the league at a plus 0.69. So now you look at the names ahead of him. Nick Mullins. Would you take Nick Mullins over Malik Willis? No. Who? Would you take Mitchell Trubisky over? No. Would you take Tyson Bagent, who's right underneath him? No. Drake May? Yes. I would take Drake May over Malik Willis. So that's the company he's in again. Just 2 more spots down though. Jameis Winston plus 2.24. Of course, he played how many attempts there? 66 passing attempts, right? So pretty much twice the amount of passing attempts that Malik Willis had. Then next on the list is Jordan Love at a plus 0.20 on 439 attempts. I'm so glad Jordan Love's our quarterback. So again, EPA per dropback, Emilio, third. Completion percentage over expected, second at a plus 13.8%. And Jordan Love was 11th on that list right there. Passer rating, first in the league with a 145.5. And what do you think, Emilio?
I honestly think he'll get his 40. Looking at Sam Darnold's numbers from last year, it was a 3-year, $100.5 million contract, 55 guaranteed with 37.5 fully guaranteed of this year. I think Donovan's right. He'll probably get 38 guaranteed this year, but I think he's 3 years over 100 million for sure.
I do too. And this is where, when you get into the market value stuff,
there's just not a lot of quarterbacks coming out. There's really not. And when you go to get a quarterback like that, the only one you're getting is you're only getting Mendoza. Like besides that, if a team needs a quarterback, you're getting somebody that's already been in the league and you've seen what Malik can do. He's gone through 2 coaches, like we've gone over. He understands different things. So, ran the spread option in Liberty, came here, ran a little boot action under center more, got footwork, all that stuff. And he's ready. The way he carries himself, he'll be a completely perfectly, great quarterback for another team.
I'm hearing some people say that Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson might be a first-round pick. That's wild to think about. I didn't think he had a great year, Emilio. I don't know how you feel about Ty Simpson, but that's wild.
I thought they were talking about him being like a 4th or a 5th rounder earlier in the season.
Right. But again,
right?
Going back to college, the value starts to boost. I think that the rumor was he got offered $6 million. I don't know if that's true or not. $6 million to stay in college, and he chose to go to the pros. I was like, whoa, bub. Don't know who you got your advice from, but probably would have took that money.
But also, like we always say every year on draft, quarterback it's a completely separate draft for the quarterbacks. Yes. They're in their own numbers.
It's exactly what we mean when we say there's 2 drafts every April. There's the NFL draft and there's the NFL quarterback draft. Quarterbacks are treated at a minimum 1 tier higher than their current tier of talent. There's no doubt about that.
Isn't it interesting, too, how the playoff picture could determine how some teams are needy? You'd argue now that the Pittsburgh – we probably knew it was going to happen there with A-Rod anyways, but, what if Stafford wins the Super Bowl and just says, I'm hanging it up?
Right. Now
that's another team, you know what I mean? Or insert quarterback here that maybe is just tired of it, and we don't know it yet. And then all of a sudden there's an off-season retirement. and that just, again, like to Emilio's point, I haven't been too invested into college football yet. I kind of save that for the offseason, and then I just really get nerdy about it. But it does seem like it's kind of weak, man. And it's an interesting year.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of calculated market value, Spot Track has Malik at $10.6 million annually. Okay, so average annual value, right? Here are the comp players in terms of age and contract signed. Tyson Bagent, 2 years, $10 million, $5 million salary. He's 25 years old when he signed the deal. Davis Mills, 1 year, $7 million. Jarrett Stidham, 2 years, $12 million. Trey Lance, 1 year, $2 million. You're probably going, why are those the comps? Name another quarterback that signed a contract young like that was a free agent. There's just not many. They don't let them get to the market, right? Again, this is Green Bay with the caviar problems in terms of the quarterback. They always got one. So statistical comparison, it's going to lay everything out. I don't want to waste too much time. These are the stats they cover: game played percentage, passing yards per game, passing touchdowns per game, passing interceptions per game, completion percentage, passer rating, and rushing yards per game. So they throw in a little bit of that mobile aspect as well. And that comes up with the rating. When you take those 4 players, Tyson Bagent, Davis Mills, Jarrett Stidham, and Trey Lance, and you get those averages, okay, across the board. Now you compare Malik Willis. So Malik Willis, game play percentage, 28 compared to a 21.3. Passing yards per game, Malik Willis, a 74 compared to a 71. Passing touchdowns per game, 0.43 to a 0.22. Passing interceptions per game, 0 for Malik Willis to a 0.27 for the other guys. And you're going to get a median change across the board. Or the percentage change, I should say. Gameplay percentage, a positive 31 for Malik. Passing yards per game, a positive 5. Passing touchdowns per game, a positive 95.45, right? Interceptions per game, a 100. Passing completion percentage, 64.3. Passer rating, 121.89 positive. Rushing yards, 212. And then a rating of 55.31. So essentially you have a median prime percentage change of 79.89%, average prime change of 85.7. That's how they come up with the 1 year, $10.5 million. Even the fact that he torched all that and they inflated that number compared to those other 4 comp players, that number I don't think is going to be nowhere near what he gets. I think he's going to be, it's definitely going to be $20 million. I would be very, very, very surprised if Malik Willis doesn't get $20 million per. So do we all agree here? Last question. We'll move on to the next player. Do we all agree here? Malik Willis has played his last snap for the Green Bay Packers.
Unfortunately, yes.
It sucks. Go get your money, Malik.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, I could not be more. Probably goes down in my history of being on this earth of my favorite backup that we've ever had. Maybe Matt Flynn. Maybe like if you want to go way back, remember like Aaron Brooks and like Ty Detmer and those types of people that we had on the backup. I don't know, man. It does absolutely suck. It does, because you wish you could keep a guy like that in your pocket, but he's played so good and been such a good dude that I want him to go out and flourish. It's like when you let your kids go off, you want to see him succeed. That's how I think of Malik. He's my little kid.
Emilio plays Madden, right?
Oh, yeah.
He had some drip, man, with the headband, the cross. Everything, bro. He's like, and now I'm just telling you guys, get ready for the hairline with Desmond Ridder. It's rough. It is rough. Okay. Yeah. It is what it is. But there was some drip. There was some drip with Malik for sure.
Because you could pull out the read option at any time, Clay. Quick little QB sub, backup QB, little read option to Jacobs. See ya.
Yeah. So anyway, if you guys are watching this back later, let us know what you think about Malik. What's the market value for you? Where do you think he ends up? I would love to see him paired up. I would love to see him paired up wherever the other Packer Doug Malik. This is God. Stay in Green Bay. Yeah. No, Mike Holmgren. Homage. So wherever Hafley ends up, I think it would be awesome if Malik ended up there, right? Like if it's in Miami, to me that feels, if Hafley were to take the job in Miami, I would love to see Malik go to Miami and be his quarterback. That would be really cool. If Matt LaFleur ends up getting fired, let go or whatever, right? They end up trading him. I think his top choice wherever he would go would be, hey, go get me Malik, right? In free agency, I could see that happening as well. So it'll be interesting. But let us know
who was the front office gentleman that went over to Miami? Is John Michael
John Michael Montgomery. Now it's John Eric Sullivan.
John Eric Sullivan. Okay.
John Michael Montgomery's a country
John
singer.
Michael.
He put on some weight, let me tell you. My man ain't looking. Hey, pretty lady, won't you give me a sign? You know what I'm saying?
See, that's a jam.
That is a jam right there. Here we go. Jen Wright, Rob Domofsky, talks have progressed where it would be surprising at this point if LaFleur isn't the coach. I need somebody to explain to me what he means there. I'm stupid. Go ahead, Emilio. Decipher that for me. What does that comment mean right there?
That he is 85 to 99%, I would think, that Matt's coming back.
Jacob,
because if not, he would be very surprised at that point. So I mean, I would say 85 to 99%.
I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of I'm not saying this just to
Jacob, don't you do it, sir. Don't you?
No, I'm just saying that this is the off season. Everybody's viewership has fallen off a cliff. I think that a lot of time this is, I think, something that Ryan touched on earlier today or yesterday with his podcast. It seems like that maybe people are just out there throwing, hey, sources tell me. What sources? Well, my mom said that she really thinks that LaFleur is not going to work.
Well, she's a nice lady, Jacob.
She is a nice lady. You keep her name out of your mouth, Emilio. No, but in all seriousness, I think that Rob's pretty tuned in, obviously. But it could be that kind of thing where where he's just maybe – I don't want to say that he's floating stuff out to get clicks. That's not what I'm accusing him of. I'm just saying, though, that if there is an opportunity to kind of, put a post out there that maybe gets some traction and has even this a modicum of truth to it, like I think that, they'd probably do it. So I'm going to wait until I see it happen before I believe anything. I'm not going to get in a cycle where I take the bait and start doom scrolling and getting all negative or positive to that fact,
Got it. So yeah, Jen, I'm not seeing the tweet, so he must have said it somewhere. I'm sure we'll hit on that in the morning. He'll probably tweet out information by then. Who knows? Maybe Matt LaFleur will have a contract by tomorrow morning. I hope he does, because I do feel like we're missing out on an opportunity to try to make this coaching staff better the longer this gets drug out. So appreciate that info, Jen.
Jen did follow up saying he said unfortunately. Not sure if that means Rob actually said that in the tweet or if I don't know the clarification there, Jen. If you want to,
why would he say unfortunately? Well, now I'm confused. What was the quote again?
And she said 20 minutes ago.
20 minutes.
So maybe
ago.
Does that mean you think it's unfortunate, Jen, or that he actually said that in the tweet? Clarify.
I didn't see a tweet that he put up saying.
I just looked. I didn't see a tweet either.
Yeah.
But yes, Jacob. She said. So she said unfortunately. But so I guess Jen doesn't want him back. Am I understanding that right? Like she don't want LaFleur.
I don't know. Jen, hop on the show. Let's just talk about it.
Jen, just hammer that out for us. We do have that super Clay you need to get to.
Oh yeah, our boy.
That's right.
Sorry about that, Hardy. That's how professional we are here. Hardy the Prophet with the super chat says, "What would y'all think about bringing Mike Daniels in, the ex-Packer player, for that hard-nosed attitude as a coach?" Let's go around the horn. I want to get your all's take. I don't want to sway your all's opinion on this at all with my opinion. How do y'all feel about, would you want to bring in Mike Daniels in to be, obviously played defensive tackle for the Packers. Would you want to bring him in as a coach?
You go ahead, Emilio.
Y'all's topic.
That was
yeah.
I don't know. Hell with it.
Does he coach? Does he coach? I mean, sure. You know what? Let's give it a shot. Screw it. We haven't tried that. We haven't tried the ex-player option before. Let's give it a shot. I'm with it.
Jacob.
No, just because I love Mike Daniels. I do. But I feel like that he is a absolute psychopath in a great way. But I just feel like that maybe, I mean, what would it be like? What position would you think? If it's a D-line coach or something like that, then yeah, I mean, that'd be great to see how it works. And maybe he does have the chutzpah to kind of be that type of players-led, bite the kneecaps type of coach. I mean, I do think that's, if honestly, I will make a prediction that if they do bring Matt LaFleur back, I think that he will. And then if Halfley happens to unfortunately leave and he takes some guys with him, I think they're going to place him with a bunch of rah-rah, big, loud, type. Who's the guy that we lost that went Campanelli? Loved him, loved everything he did, stood for, went over to the Jags and clearly had some success over there.
He's interviewing with Miami tomorrow for the head coach job.
Right. And I mean, I just think that you need a couple of those types of people on your squad all the time. You need a few of them that, like, If something's not working, you say, hey, dude, go in there and be a psychopath. And he's like, got it. And just walks in and just completely, either gives that speech or just grabs a player by the helmet and headbutts him or whatever the case may be. You just got to have somebody that makes the piss hot, that can kind of stir the pot and get these guys fired up to get out of whatever funk that they're in. Because it feels like that's the biggest thing that I personally have had against this organization for the last 5-6 years, is it just feels like nobody gets them jacked up, man.
And see, I feel the opposite. When I hear a name like Mike Daniels gets thrown out there, what's been the big knock on Matt LaFleur? He's too emotional, right?
Correct.
So now we're going to get a defensive coordinator that's going to be overly emotional, because that's Mike Daniels. Whether you love him or hate him, I know some people that love him. I have talked to 2 players that played with him, okay? And it wasn't like, oh, I hate him or whatever, but it's like that rah-rah stuff, not everybody responds to it. They don't, Some people hear that and go, okay, it's one ear out the other. And, others, it's, these are professional athletes. Do your freaking job.
Yeah.
But let me put it this way. If you need another grown-ass man to get you motivated about doing your job, you've got the wrong person. If that person has to come into work today, I'm going to play some football, man, I hope somebody can inspire me. Sorry, I don't want you on my damn team. Don't want it. Don't need it. I appreciate Mike Daniels being fired up and the whole thing he's got, but man, I want guys who love football, And if you got to have another grown man get you fired up to play a game or to get I can't subscribe. I think Halfley is a great male. He shows the guys that he cares. He's proven to the guys, I know what I'm talking about. You got to trust me, right? And then let your team leaders go out there and do it. You guys know what I think's wrong with the roster. You don't have enough veterans. You're too young. You're the youngest team in the league, and as long as you march out the youngest roster in the league, you're going to continue to have mental mistakes, and you're going to continue to have guys that don't perform their best in the biggest moments. They haven't been there yet. They haven't, or they haven't been there enough, I should say. So. That would be
just to clarify. I do not want Mike Daniels as probably any coach, but if it was one, I would say just like a supporting role, maybe as like a D-line coach that is that type of person that at a situation's notice can be like, just kind of get him, if anything, scare him. Mike Daniels still scare the hell out of me if I saw him in a back alley. I'm just telling you.
Dude, great football player too. Great football player. That dude, and I love how he played the game. He played it energetic. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Again, if the only reason we're bringing somebody in is to get them fired up, and I'm not saying Hardy's saying that at all. It's not what I'm saying at all. But that's where my mind goes. So yeah, great player. I don't know if he'd necessarily make a great coach. So here we go. Packer Doug. Domofsky said it is likely Matt LaFleur is coming back. He said on ESPN Wisconsin today that he would guess some type of agreement would be announced in 24 to 48 hours. Source were Packer Doug's ears. I love it. So there you go. So we should have something next 24 to 48 hours. That makes sense. Don't drag it out. And I'm eager to see. And here's the rough part. We're not going to know all the details. If they come to an agreement, there's no reason for Matt's camp to leak out. Well, they told him he couldn't play call. He couldn't call the plays. Or they told him he had to change this coach or that. That's not going to leak out. If he didn't get the job, it would leak out, right? So I don't know if that makes sense or not. But thank you for that information, Doug. And thank you, Jen, for bringing it to our attention. We never would have even had that conversation. It was Jen, right? Jen.
Yep.
All right. Let's hit a couple of these real quick, and then we'll jump into the next player we want to cover. J. Cole says this is a trade back year for a lot of teams that needs quarterbacks. I think this is the perfect year to trade Tua and Kyler. All right. Interesting. The draft is so awesome.
Would you take Kyler for a 7th round?
What's that?
Would you take Kyler for a 7th round? Bring him in?
I trade a 7th round pick for Kyler Murray? Hell yeah, to get that double XP on them weekends.
That's what I was wondering. I was looking to get the same code, Clay. I really was. I was hoping.
Yeah, now for me, if he's a good locker room guy, yeah, I don't know how you can determine that. Listen, ton of talent.
Nothing to do with Green Bay besides play Xbox. So, I mean, we could make that – we could work that out for him.
We could put it on the sideline for him, get a little flat screen over there. You know what I mean?
He goes in the blue tent every other – what is he doing in there?
Shadow's real bad outside.
Groin injury or something like that, I heard.
The only thing that worries me about that is how many people came out and spoke against him like he was a bad teammate. He wasn't a good leader. So, I don't think we need none of that, right? We need somebody who's going to be a stabling force in the locker room more so than someone that just, and maybe that's a misconception of him. It might be. I don't know. I don't know. I do know it was pointed out that when Budda Baker went down with a season-ending injury and they put him on the cart, the entire team walked out because that was their team captain. Budda Baker plays the game the right way, right? The entire team went out to tell him thank you and wish him good luck or whatever. Kyler Murray's the only one that didn't go over there. That's a bad look.
That's a terrible look.
The chat was all for that's a no-go, man.
They do not want Kyler in the chat.
I thought I was going to get raked over the coals there, to be honest with you. Donovan Schilling says, thank you guys for not being condescending with your fans, guys. I've had to quit. Well, okay. I've had to quit watching another one because of how they treat a large portion of their fan base. Shaking my head. I never want to get in the a situation where we're calling other people out. I got enough problems. For me, man, I got enough of me to fix, so I don't want that to, I don't want to call the people out like that unless they're calling, it is what it is. But thank you for the compliment. We greatly appreciate that. And we try not to be condescending. Listen, I can be an ass. I know I can. I try to keep it in check, but we want this show to be about your all's opinion, our opinion. Let's look at the facts and let's just talk ball 365 days a year. So appreciate the kind words there, sir. We'll leave it at that. We ain't experts, damn it.